Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. If you're looking for the secret of life, maybe some answers to pilot your journey, very well, those answers could be coming from animals. And there's a reason. They've been here quite some time. They've been able to evolve. They've experienced a lot, but we don't listen to them. Oh, by the way, we're also animals. We're going to talk with somebody today who has dedicated her life's work to animal communication and more, specifically wild animals. And yes, she does help, the rest of us with our pets communicating, even in spirit. And it's fascinating what she's done and does as a author, teacher, spokesperson, communicator. You'll learn a lot today from Kate Solisti, who joins us on the program. How you doing today?
Hey, Steve. Great to be with you today. Thanks for having me.
Before we even begin, I do want to get out there that I believe in everything you do and how communication with animals is possible. Call it telepathy, whatever label you want to put on it. I've learned in the last number of years how to do it to a degree. I'm not the expert, just picking up little tips from people like you and then trying it with my dog, my cats. Fantastic results. We don't well, for another day, but that was my wake up to what you do and how you do it. What do you want overall, before we dig into this, what do you want people to know about animal communication overall?
Well, first of all, it's not something that only a few of us can do, that it's some magical thing. It is a normal part of who we are. It is our intuition. We all have intuition. We all pretty much acknowledge that. And I see the ability to hear or perceive is a better word because I don't hear voices. Some animal communicators may. I mean, we've had funny movies like Eddie Murphy's Dr. Dolittle and stuff like that, where,
Sure.
Comedians do the voices of all the animals, but that's not how most of us receive. It's more, as you said, telepathic. We perceive in pictures. Animals are very visual and they send us a lot of information in pictures. Maybe you experienced that with your dogs and cats.
For sure.
Did you have anything like that where you were trying to get them to understand something and you sent them a picture of what you wanted?
Oh, can I share the most recent one?
Yeah, please.
So I have two cats. Had them going on 2.5 years. They're wonderful. They're the mushiest things on the planet. I mean, I walk in, Rocco gets up on the counter. He wants a kiss. He goes like this. He just wants, pick me up, pick me up. Love them. They're great. And maybe it's because I'm a little more plugged in that maybe I picked them for a reason. I don't know. But they started peeing. One of them, I don't know which one, outside the litter box. What is going on here? Never happened before. Do we have a medical problem? What's going on? So I intentionally sent a message. What's going on? Daddy's not happy. Tell me what's wrong here. Let me feel something coming from you. And I waited a little bit. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking at them and I'm just popped in my head. I didn't even realize it. I line my litter box with a garbage bag. Just makes it easier to clean, et cetera, et cetera. I changed bags. They didn't like the bags. And I got that. I'm like, got you guys. All right. So I went back to the other bags. Problem solved. That's it. But it wasn't me thinking, hey, I got to change bag. I got it. Like I got it from them because I asked them for it. And then it just popped in my head. And I got a visual of the bags and just them being unhappy. I don't know which one. Never determined which one was being outside the box. But didn't matter. I call it. I asked them both. But that was just one of many. And there's this. I'll share another one because it was it's pretty scary. And one of my cats, tail got caught in a table, one of those snack tables. Mm-hmm. This is in the last month. Started pulling the table around the house by his tail, freaking out. I freed him. It wasn't easy. Got him free. Was wondering if his tail is going to be okay. The vet said, give it a couple of days. Even if it is, we can't do anything. But I sent a message. I've got you. I am going to take care of you. Do not worry. He is a different cat now. He was always a little skitterish. Now he's like the other one, mushy, talks to me like a complete 180 on this cat. And I believe, not just because I saved his tail, from a table, but I sent a message that I'm okay. I got you. Don't ever worry. I swear by it. If people think I'm crazy, good for you. Don't get on my train. That's all right. But I'm sure you've heard these stories, and I'm sure, Kate, you've experienced them too.
Of course, but that's lovely. Thank you for sharing. So you've really taken a lot of what us animal communicators have shared with you and tried it and have had these wonderful results. And that's really what we want people to know, that they just need to try and stay open like you did, which is you sent this message, I need to know what's wrong about the litter box. And you just waited. You didn't have an expectation. You didn't try to figure it out. You just waited. And probably when you weren't even thinking about it, boom, the bad thing came to you.
Yep.
And that's how it often comes. It's not when you're trying too hard. That actually pushes the energy away when you try too hard. It's like chasing it, right? And that doesn't work. But you did it beautifully. You put it out there. Please tell me what's wrong. And you just let it go then and waited. And that's how we allow intuition, our intuition to receive. And as you said, there were pictures, you had different things that came to you, as well as sending pictures and feelings you sent to your kitty with the tail caught in the, I've got you. I love you. You're safe with me. And at that time where he was so scared and freaked out, you just surrounded him with love. And he was like, oh my gosh, I can depend on Dad. No matter what happens, he's here and I feel safe now. And sometimes it's so simple, right? And now because you've had these experiences, you can trust yourself more. You can trust yourself to open and receive and develop more of this rapport and actually open yourself up to more coming from your cats. Cats are incredible healers. When I worked on my book, Conversations with Cat, one of the things I learned from cats was, we weren't worshipped in Egypt just because we were pretty and good mousers. We have the ability to help augment the healing of the healer. In other words, if a healer is working on someone who's ill, the cats will hold energy and will actually help remove the problem and release it. And as we know scientifically, the purr, the hertz, the vibration and frequency of the hertz of the cat's purr is healing. They use it to heal themselves. They purr when they're happy, but they also purr when they're hurt. And so they heal themselves, but they also heal us.
Wow.
So,
I did not know that. Makes a lot of sense. And Kate, you said a word before, and I'm connecting some dots here. And I never thought of this word in connection with animal communication. Intuition. Intuition. Now, my belief, we all have it. There's a reason why we're still here. We have intuition. Cave people back in the day, they knew that there was a pterodactyl flying outside the cave, and they didn't go out there. They didn't see it, but they had a feeling. Don't do it. Intuition. How does that come into play with animal communication?
Well, I believe that our ability to receive is through our intuition, our intuitive muscle, if you will. And also the heart. I feel that it's an activity of our heart. The heart has more neurons than the brain. And we always thought the brain controlled everything. But in fact, the heart sends more information to the brain than the brain to everything else. It's really fascinating when you start to study what they've been learning about the heart. And I have felt for years, I've been an animal communicator for over 30 years, sort of an old timer in the field, if you will.
Wow.
And, for years, I felt that this is a heart activity, or it's really not an activity. It's about being, allowing, surrendering so that one can receive. You can't receive, as I said, if you're pushing too hard. I want this, I want this, I want this. Tell me, tell me, tell me. That's just, you can't, you're pushing, you're not receiving. So it's intuitively is how that is the muscle that I have exercised in order to receive more. Does that help?
Yes. And I believe, based on what you said, now that I'm processing all of the information here, that I didn't push for the litter bag answer or the litter box bag answer. I didn't push for it. Now that I look back at it, and in talking with you, and thank you for this, my intuition told me, tap the brakes. You'll get the answer. We're all good here.
Perfect. Mm-hmm.
And I did. And to your point, if you're pushing like, what's going on? Hey, don't pee outside the box again. I'm not going to get the answer. You're focused on trying, gimme, where you're not able to receive. You're not open to it.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Jeez.
And when I've taught before, I've taught classes, I've taught individuals. I often say you want to, if you're putting a question out there, you want to create the space to just wait. And one of the ways to do that is visualize you have a big basket in front of you, and you're just going to wait for something to drop in. It could be a picture, it could be a voice, it could be an idea. It could be anything, but then you must act on it like you did. That's the other very important piece of strengthening the intuition is you went and changed the bag. When you got that information, you immediately went and changed the bag. That's so important to this process, Steve. It is acting on it, not second guessing it, which is what many people do. They go, oh, I'm making that up. It's what I wanted to hear.
No. When I got it, it's like, there we go. Now it wasn't me thinking, dude, you changed the bags. No wonder. It was coming from them. I can't explain it, but it was like, if my cat could hold a 2x4 and go in the back of my head, that's what it felt like. It was like, oh yeah, all right. And I took action and then changed the bag and everything was fine.
That's it. And the action, and then you had the proof in the pudding, which was that they use the box again.
Yeah.
But that whole process is so important. As you said, you put it out there, what's wrong, and then you got out of the way and you waited.
Yeah.
And then you received something, and instead of questioning it, you just acted on it, and that showed you that you were right, that what you got was true. It was sent by them, because who else would have sent it? I mean, who else would have known?
No one.
Right?
And interestingly, what you just said is one of the principles of effective manifestation, where you just put it out there and you just wait. Don't harp on it. Don't belabor it. Just wait. You'll get the answer, or you'll get the result if you don't come from a place of lack. And what's the problem? What's going on here? Litter box. Let it go. Just let it go. Have faith. Have trust.
But and trust is huge. And the belief that you can receive. That's what blocks most people is, like you said, a lot of people think you're crazy. That's because we've been taught that people can't do this, that we can't do this, that this is not, and worse, different religions have said that's the work of the devil or whatever, and it's not. It's an intrinsic part of who we are, like you said, that has served us through time. And it's really important that we tap in and use it now. Because as we all know, there's all this noise out there, all this stuff, and a lot about fear and control and all of this. Well, how do we break free of that? We tune into here. We ask ourselves, we discern, we go deep and say, now wait, how does that really feel? Listen to your intuition, which is saying, wait a minute, that doesn't feel right. That's because it isn't right. And your being knows that. But you have to trust. You have to believe that you can hear or receive or feel from your own intuition, whether it's, again, a discernment about something that's being told to you or something you're being told to do or not do, versus something from an animal or a non-human being, including trees, including plants. There's so much about the communication that trees and plants have with the mycelium network under the soil. It's now being proven what animal communicators and indigenous people, let's not forget that indigenous people have been working with this knowledge forever.
Yes.
Forever. And it's
at the beginning of time.
And it's what kept them in balance with the natural world.
Right.
Right?
Balance.
Respect.
That is a great word. Many feel we are, as a species, out of balance. Your life's work, of course, animal communication, but your specialty is wild animals. And we're going to dig into that, but I want to just ask a basic question. This point in time, 2025, overall, you communicate with wild animals. What's the overall message that they're saying that we need to listen to?
That's beautiful. The overall message is it is our lack of connection with them, the natural world, that is causing us so much pain and causing us to be so destructive. Our
Mm.
lack of connection, our sense of separation.
Connection to what?
Connection to the whole. That we, as you said in the very beginning, we are animals. We aren't different. We are a mammalian species, like so many mammalian species on the planet. And our brains, we think we work with this neocortex all the time. We don't. We work with the emotional brain, the limbic brain. They're changing sort of how they say the brain works. But bottom line is we're much more emotional thinkers than we are really rational thinkers. And animals, that's where they live. They live in that part of the brain, but it is also, they are connected. They've never lost their connection to the whole. They know they're part of this bigger picture, and they know their role in that, in everything that's going on the planet. That's what we've lost.
My game changer in my personal journey, and I believe it all happens for a reason. Things changed in my life 5 years ago. Had some things going on, changed things up, and I met somebody that said to me, and I believe they showed up right when they needed to. Why don't you ever live in the moment? You think about the past, you think about the future. Well, you're not living in the moment. And I don't know what you're talking about. And then I processed it. Took a number of months. I'm like, oh, and then learn to adapt to that. But guess what? What do animals do? Live in the moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like truly.
Which is lovely.
Not even just words. Like a dog, he's not thinking about, later or before. Yeah, he remembers some things because he needs to protect himself. But, if you say, Bruno, I'll feed you later. Don't worry, I'll feed. He doesn't know what that is. I want to eat now. He's thinking, I need to eat now. This moment, I'm in the moment. I need to eat now. Big lesson to learn from
exactly.
them.
It's so helpful. And that's the beauty of being able to go out and walk with your dog and let them sometimes lead the way. Don't be on your phone all the time when you're out with your dog, any more than you should be out, on your phone when you're with your kids.
Sure.
You don't want to be playing a game with them and be on your phone. Well, our animals are saying, be present. The smells, the sights, the sounds. This is life. Live it with us. And so the other piece from the animals is we humans are not alone. They are family. And when we listen, they love us. They want to help us feel that connection, feel that love. Wild animals, you could argue, have all kinds of reasons not to like us,
Yeah.
But again, I work with what I call the council. So the council of lions, the council of dolphins, which is the higher group mind. So it's not, I do communicate with individual dolphins and individual lions, but beyond that, if we want to receive teachings from them, and this is what I do in my membership community that I call the Harmony Pack, because it's all about inner harmony as well as outer harmony. And pack, because of the wolf pack, where there is incredible harmony and collaboration and cooperation. So what we do is we hear every month from a different animal species. In the month of March, we worked with walrus consciousness. Walruses communicated about connection. And if you think about walruses lying on the beach or a big rock, they're all like, smooched against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they take us into that experience. What does that feel like? You're safe, you're warm, you got all these friends around. It is this lovely, lovely healing experience. And it's those, and then they say, how do you take this into your life? If you need more of that, how do you create that in your own life? And where does that take you? And so it is about learning from them and applying these lessons into our lives. That's what our members do. Is say, okay, I got this message from the Turtle Council that I need to slow down. I need to take my time. And they start to work with that, and different things open up in their lives, right? And because if you're willing to learn, you're willing to grow, and you're gonna find your purpose. You're just gonna refine and get clearer on your purpose so that you can go out in the world and make the difference you came here to make in whatever field you're in. It doesn't matter if you're in radio. It doesn't matter if you're in banking. It doesn't matter if you're a healer or a teacher or an artist. All of that can be augmented with these lessons from the animals. It's like being life coached by animals, if you will. And who better to teach us than what the native peoples have always called our elder brothers and sisters.
How beautiful.
The animals.
So let's say you're in your car, you drive into your driveway. There's a robin on the grass right there. Is there a message that they have for us potentially?
Potentially, or she just might be really excited because she just caught a worm. So again, the more we see animals as individual beings, the more we will respect them. The more, and that's true for humans, right? We put all kinds of people in boxes and compartments, and that isn't healthy because this is what causes fear and hatred and blame and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
But one step, and sometimes it's easier with animals because some people have been very wounded by other humans. And so being able to relate to dogs and cats or horses or bunnies is really healing because we need that connection. So yeah, when you see the bird singing up a storm, you can stop and ask, what are you singing about? And just wait. But most of us are in a hurry, get those groceries in the house because the ice cream's going to melt and, we got to pick up the kids and we got to do this and we got to blah, 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 blah. We never stop, which is part of the lesson too. That's why we're not in the moment, right? Because we're rushing to the next thing. Slow down.
One thing. That was my lesson a few months ago. Not even worth getting into, but yes, slow down. I knew this, but you illustrated so amazingly. Humans, I believe, think they're better than animals. Well, I can think and I can do this and I can do that. Stop that. Stop that now. That's where we go wrong. You feel the same?
Oh, absolutely. It's our superiority, and again, where is that coming from? It's coming actually from a wound, from a sense that we don't belong or we are less than. I mean, the bigger somebody's ego, the more afraid they truly are, the more wounded they probably are. And this can be hard to remember when somebody's bullying and somebody's spewing hate, and they're just awful.
Well,
you don't want to, right? You want to go, ew. But if you've had any background in psychotherapy, happily, my husband's a psychotherapist. He's taught me a lot about that level of anger and projection. These are the bad guys. We're the good guys. It's pain.
Hurt people, hurt people.
Exactly. Yes. I forget who said that, but there's a famous psychologist who said that. Do you remember who said that?
I don't. I just heard it a number of times over years. And the more I pay attention to life and people, it makes sense when you start looking at what's going on there. Those are the people that hurt others more. Yes. Not that you should hurt anybody, but when the more that they've gone through, the more that they put on others. I have to tell you, Kate, we're out of time, close to. Fabulous talking with you. So refreshing. Like this is, I'm like excited. Like I don't want to stop. There's so much to talk about. I mean, I want to go into next time we get together, if we may, deeper into different situations when you've communicated what you've gotten. I shared my cats. I want to hear all of it, but most importantly, the wild aspect of it. I'm intrigued. It's all there. The answers are right there. If you're looking for the answer, it's right there. Amazing. Tell us how to find you if somebody wants to learn about the Harmony Pack, learn about what you do, just even bounce some ideas, questions, whatever it might be. How do they find you?
The best place is my website, which is simply my name, katesolisti.com. So that's really easy, and all the information is there. How to contact me through my email, how to look. You can the Harmony Pack's on there. There's tons of information about how I do my private sessions. So there's a lot of that's the way. Just katesolisti.com. My YouTube channel is actually Kinship with Animals. That's my YouTube channel. And then I do have I have some short messages from wild animals. I have some examples of actually some of these longer messages with my Harmony Pack on there, as well as the reincarnation videos, how animals have come back to the people that love them. So that's a great joy and of my work too, is that process.
We have lots to talk about if we get together. And that one cat, that mushy cat that I was referring to, I'm convinced he came back. I can get into it another time, but it's all there. And it's not that I'm just thinking it or looking for that. No, when you know.
Intuition, your heart knows.
Intuition. Kate, thank you so much for today. You're amazing. And I love the fact that you do what you do, but it's also backed up by science. You've said some words, along the way here where you run deep in the psychological aspect of what's going on here with the animal connection. This is not just Dr. Doolittle. No, you're legit. and look at the psychological aspect of what's going on with us and our animals. We'll catch up next time. Thank you again for today.
My pleasure. And thanks for sharing your stories. I love that we could talk and share about your experiences too. So I really appreciate that.
It's in real time, and we all have stories, and we learn from those stories. And we're going to hear more of yours next time we get together.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Looking forward to it.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.